Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Women's Voice, a platform by Women Rights Initiative. I hope you've had a very wonderful week. And today, yet again, we have a very interesting topic. We'll be discussing what body shaming is. And with me today, I have a host and a guest. Thank you so much, Patra, for making this show happen. And I want to welcome our guest to today's show. And please feel welcome. Please introduce yourself so that our viewers get to know you more as we lead today's discussion.
Thank you, Annette. My audible enough? You can just nod if you can hear me. Annette, are you able to hear me?
Yes,
I
please.
guess
I
I'm
can hear you
talking to
clearly.
myself. Okay. Thank you very much. My name is Penelope Sanyu. You can call me Penny. I work with Farm Uganda. Farm Uganda is a feminist institution that is mobilizing and equipping young women to find their true authentic selves and live that way. We do work around body image and integrity, feminist transformative leadership, and feminist economy. Those are the three priority areas that we focus on at FarmFort. And I'm excited to work with young women, talk to young women, be a young woman, and also find ways of sharing bits of myself with young people so that together we can live authentic lives and live full lives that we were created to live. Away from Farm Uganda, when I'm not doing all this work, I am playing all the time. So I started a movement of people who play, and it's called Kweshunga. Kweshunga is a Runyankole word to mean play, and I use play as a resistance to colonialism and to politicizing our bodies and to understanding that it's okay to go out there and be whoever you want to be in whatever sense you want to be that person through play. So I use play as therapy for adults and for children, but also play as a way to bring out creativity in the adults that we hide away for so long. That is really who I am.
That is so exciting. I'm so looking forward to learning today because it's not a topic that people openly speak about. It's something that really hurts women or even affects us, but it's not a topic that people usually think it's important to speak about. And I think that we are privileged to have you today to speak to the young people, to speak to mothers, to speak to the communities about this topic. And right away, I want you to please educate us or let us learn more about what body shaming is.
So I will start maybe by telling a story. And Annette, I'm not educating anybody. We are learning together, and I'm not an expert on this subject because we are the experts of our bodies. And so to get up and say I'm an expert on this would be a lie, because every woman out there has a story on body shaming. Every woman out there has a story on body positivity, and therefore I'm just going to share my story and my views. Peradventure, some people identify with those views and also connect in ways that help us heal together and collectively find solutions to this big elephant in the room. So I said I'll start by telling a story. I am a very, very big person right now, because I say that because everybody who meets me is like, oh my God, you put on weight. And so I was a very, very tiny girl, very, very tiny. In fact, my classmates nicknamed me Stilo. Stilo means pen, I think very tiny, or pen in French. And so my friends used to compare me to the size of a pen in school. And so everybody would be like, Stilo, oh my God, Stilo. And then out of school, I was those people that shopped in the children's section because as an adult, I could not find clothes that fit. I was that tiny, as that small. And so to shop, like find tops that fit or find, pants that fit or anything, all my lingerie was in children's section. I was really small, and so I would shop in the children's section. And every shop we would go to, people would be like, "Banange ngoli mutini," and it bothered me so much. It killed my self-esteem because I wanted to be big. I wanted to put on weight because I thought that putting on weight is associated with a certain level of respect, and everybody would say, "You don't eat," but I do. "You look so small. Are you sick? Oh my God." And that would be the first thing that people point out. So, why am I sharing this story? Body shaming is so many things, but I have learned to understand that body shaming is bullying. Body shaming is bullying, and it is allowing both yourself and other people to negatively impact on how you see yourself and constantly believe in who you are. And that negativity gets to you, you begin to want to be something or somebody that you are not. And so in sharing that story, I was trying to also put out the different forms of body shaming, because some people shame through compliments. They're like, "Oh, you look so pretty, but you're so tiny. Oh my God, that blouse looks so good on you, but you're fat. Oh, why are you eating a burger? You're already big." This whole idea that there's a perfect size and there's a perfect body shape, and you open magazines and flip them, and there's this narrative of a perfect woman who has a flat stomach and a big bum. And if you don't have those things, you're constantly critiquing yourself. You're constantly criticizing the ones that you were given and the way that you look and feel. And so for me, I consider body shaming bullying. And I think it is the highest form of bullying because it's done in very subtle, sometimes very subtle and suspecting ways. We get to live with it and forget that it is affecting our mental well-being.
It's I now that you mentioned that each of us at any point has experienced body shaming, I want to agree with you, and it's not, and actually it doesn't stop only in schools. Even like when you go out, like for you, even when you gained weight, people still like acknowledge, like still said
Yeah.
you gained weight, and maybe they would have just said you're now okay, but still it was different because you were small and then you gained weight. And uh, speaking about the types of body shaming, I think that it's important for us to speak more about this, about the different types of body shaming, because it's when you're young, when you're young it's different because you don't most of the things are new, like you don't know how to react, you don't know what to do, you're in state of confusion, and sometimes we are naive. So it's really, it becomes hard for the young girls to even begin to to add this body shaming on the other things that are stressing them, probably academics, probably the life they're living. So I want you to go deeper into the other types of body shaming or bullying that we need to know and also understand.
So body shaming actually. So I will start with the self, because sometimes we body shame ourselves. And then I will go to the other external factors. I love to begin with the self because that's where every problem begins, with us, before we point fingers at other people. I think that for most of us, we've not seen anything better than what we have. We were raised in a small family or a big family, and that's what we know. And when you step out there, the only beautiful thing anybody has ever said to you is non-existent. So you have this low esteem you carry, and then you constantly tell yourself, I'm not good enough. Or we have set for ourselves certain standards depending on what we read, where we interact, what movies we watch, and we've set a standard of what beauty is. And so when you wake up and look in the mirror and there's a pimple, you think you're not beautiful. When you wake up and look in the mirror and there's no flat stomach, oh my God, I need to hit the gym. When you don't see a big ass because you've been told African women have big bums and therefore there's no big bum here, am I not an African woman? Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe nobody will ever look at me. Maybe nobody will ever want me. And you also then begin to not want yourself. When you in school, we used to think that people who put on specs were the cool people. I think that even today, some people carry the stereotype that if you wear specs, you're the cool person.
Yes,
I find specs very, very disruptive, and if I could see without them, I wouldn't wear them because they're such an addition to my face. I feel like there's something going on that I need to constantly be aware of, and I hate it. But there are people who would give anything, including faking eye problems and headaches and all these things to just get a pair of specs. And so that has a lot to do with the psychology of how we look at ourselves, how we perceive ourselves, and how we therefore love and experience ourselves. And so going back to how we see ourselves, I think that most of us do not appreciate our bodies. We do not acknowledge that they are beautiful just the way they are. We do not acknowledge that that's the body that we have. This is the vehicle I have been given to carry me to be all these good things. And therefore, I must treat it so well. I must appreciate every little bit of it, and I must be okay in my skin. And because the comparison gap is too wide, there's no perfect body, there's no perfect ideal size. We are constantly body shaming ourselves because when you become, I was small, I wanted to become big, I'm a little big now, and I feel like I want to be something else because even in the skin that I am in right now, there are people who look at me and like, oh my God, you put on weight, you need to lose that stomach, oh my God, your nose is so big, oh my God, like someone always has an opinion about your body, and those things shape how we see ourselves and how we feel about ourselves. And so we go back home and begin to do keto diets because not to live healthy lives, but to fit a certain narrative of a perfect body size. So that's one of the forms, one of the ways we shame ourselves, our self-esteem, our identity and perception on who we are and what our bodies mean to us. The other ways are subtle ways in which people have made it so normal to shame people. Someone meets you and before they even greet you, they're like, oh my God, you need to hit a gym. Excuse me? I didn't ask for your opinion about whether I need to go to the gym or not, or simple things like, oh, you shouldn't be eating burgers, they add fat to your system and you're already fat. So they're like trying to make it seem cute by complimenting you, but also adding a dagger at the end of the compliment. Or like, oh, girls like you shouldn't be wearing minis because look at your legs. When am I going to get perfect legs to wear a short skirt? I have stick legs right now and I'm proud of them. And that is who I am. And so I think that there's the people that call out things on our bodies and those people make us feel inadequate, and they make those rude comments that make us feel inadequate and inappropriate in the spaces that we are in. Then there's the magazines and the culture and TV and all this music that we listen to, and how they portray women and how they portray gorgeous bodies. Of course, when you see a Cardi B with a big ass and a flat stomach, even after giving birth to children, you think that, oh my God, that's the perfect body. I want to be like that. And I think that's why many women opt for bleaching, because we think that black skin is not beautiful. I need to appear white or appear a certain color tonation to be beautiful. That's why we're constantly covering up our faces with masses and masses of makeup to say, I need to cover this up because my nose is big, so I need to contour it to look like a pencil. And then that's when I will feel beautiful. And I'm not saying makeup is bad. No, 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 no. I'm not saying food is bad or going to the gym is bad. All these things are cute and they're good and they're great, but they do not add value to us if the value we are trying to add is come to a perfect body size or shape. They are good if we're trying to live healthy lives and make healthy choices, and not to be a perfect somebody.
Wow, thank you so much, Sanyu. And speaking about how we see ourselves, or how people see us, and what they constantly tell us, and does this affect our lives or affect the way we think? Does it have an
Always.
impact on our...
Always. I will give an example of one of the body shaming things that happen. So body hair. We know that our bodies are constantly evolving and they're constantly changing. And for some of us, these changes happen sooner rather than later. For others, they come later in life. And so we find ourselves thinking that we are not woman enough because certain things are not happening to us. I am one of the people that got my period really late. And because I got my period really late, also my pubic functions happened really late. My pubic hair started growing when I was in like S3. That's really late. But late according to who is the question I ask myself lately. Like, it's late according to who? It's on time according to my body clock or my body function. But I thought it was late because everybody at school carried shavers. Everybody had a shaver and they carried pads. And I felt like maybe I'm not a woman because my hair is not growing in the places that it should be growing, and maybe something is wrong with me. I'm not a full woman. My period is not coming. Every month I would have to just pretend to be using a pad so that people are not laughing at me and saying, oh my God, you don't menstruate. That's body shaming, and it has an impact on you. So it gets you into a state of mind that is unstable, and sometimes also leads to depression, because you're constantly trying to prove yourself or to prove to other people that you are woman enough. There's a problem, and there's a very big problem there. Most people know body shaming to come from issues of weight. Either you're too small or you're too fat or you're in the middle there, and you need to find a way to get on either side. And that's the most familiar body shaming that we know. But people shame for body hair. Some women have beards, some do not. And people shame them for that. Some people have chest hair, some do not. Some have armpit hair, some do not. And we find a way to criticize things we do not understand fully, because we have not understood the anatomy of a woman. And therefore, because we don't understand it, it scares us so much that we begin to poke fingers and point fingers, and making them feel inadequate and shy about what they have on their bodies or do not have on their bodies. The other type is attractiveness. We have this narrative that you're attractive if you're, like I said, about specs. You're more attractive if you wear specs. You're more attractive if you have lipstick on. What if I can't wear lipstick? What if I'm allergic to lipstick? What if something, we don't seek to understand the different dynamics that people have to deal with, but we have this narrative of what attractiveness is because the patriarchy has pointed out that the only attractive people are light-skinned people. The only attractive people are people with long nails. The only attractive people are people who wear high heels. And then you're going to break your legs trying to wear high heels, not understanding that your body cannot do high heels because your bone structure probably cannot handle the heels. And so we need to learn ourselves. We need to take time to understand who we are and love who we are the way we are, because that is it. We can have a million plastic surgeries and they still won't be enough to cover up for the deficit of authenticity in us.
Thank you so much. Sanyu, for me, I think that considering because everyone has their own experience, and as you shared that before you even begin pointing to people and how they probably see you and what they say to you and how they probably it begins with you. And in most cases, when you don't believe in yourself, it's hard for people around you to also believe in you and also believe that you can achieve anything, even if you're tiny, or even if you're short, even if you have some weight. It really depends on how as a person you begin seeing your life. And
Yes.
speaking about the impact of body shaming on our well-being, I know that for we've had stories where girls have tried to even cut off their breasts because people have been speaking to them and and bullying them about big breasts and giving them names, and also people trying. I have a little girl, my a little girl, my sister's daughter. She once told us that if we can put garlic in her daddies, those small eats they take at school. And we were like, why do you need us to put garlic? She was like, I want to be small like Mutoni, my friend. And so we were concerned, like, so you think
Yeah.
your body is not it's not good enough. But Mutoni says that, says that when you're fat,
Yeah.
you're not beautiful, or you need to be
Yeah.
small to be beautiful.
Yeah.
So for her, she told us that they put garlic in her daddies so that to make her body slim. So it begins. You can imagine, and she's in primary. She
Yeah.
was in primary 4 by then.
And
So it you can
and those
imagine
are
it
the things,
begins
Annette.
at that age, and
Yeah.
so you can imagine this girl growing up.
Cause it's the amount of
And so
so
if
when you
this
talk
if this
about
young girl is not helped, or if she doesn't really understand.
sorry, the line broke off at some point, but I was saying that body shaming creates a certain level of anxiety that I cannot begin to explain. And those anxieties cause depression. They lead to eating disorders. Either you eat, you people who are anorexic, you eat and throw up, or you overeat because you're overcompensating. And so people begin to get eating disorders. You have anxiety issues, panic attacks. Every time you're in a space, you're wondering, are they going to do something? Are they going to say something? Are they looking at me? Are they, and that elevates the risk of depression, and that has a very big impact on our mental health. It also creates self-esteem issues. That your daughter that you're talking about, Our self-esteem issues begin right there as children, because we're told, oh, you don't look pretty in dresses, maybe you should stop wearing dresses, or your hair is not as straight and curly as the doll that you're playing with, and therefore you're not pretty. And also this whole idea of I know that by the time we grew up, we had dolls made out of banana fibers. And I am a big advocate that we need to go back to those dolls, because today kids have bazungu dolls, and they think that bazungu dolls, and please note, this is not to be racist or anything, but when you give a black child, an African child, a white doll with curly straight hair and lipstick and nice cute nails and a flat stomach, that's the woman they want to emulate when they grow up. Our dolls made out of banana fibers were not perfect. They were made with stick arms. They could not fold. They could not do anything. That you had to draw their eyes on if you wanted. And in their imperfection, we wanted to be those little dolls. We made clothes for them. We were happy with them. We never compared ourselves with them. Today, children compare themselves with they're like, why does my hair not curl out like my doll? I want nails. I want my little nails to be painted, because that's the narrative that I am having. And so the thing I was talking about of how our culture and the things we read and expose ourselves to shape how we perceive ourselves and shape our personal perception and self-esteem. There it is. There it is.
I know. And as individuals or as a community as a whole, because it's both the way you see yourself and how the community probably sees you, and how they comment, what they tell you, what they say. How can we overcome body shaming? Because it's really a big issue.
It really is. And I'll go back to where we started on introspection. Start with yourself. First of all, we are our biggest critics. We are our biggest critics. Sometimes even before people notice you have no eyebrows, you're the one noticing and telling yourself, oh my God, my eyebrows are so bad, I need to draw them on. Or and yeah, like we have become our biggest critics, and in a negative way. So how do we overcome body shaming? Begin to see yourself for who you are. Begin to love that body. Begin to study your body and understand, this is what I have. These are my arms. These are what they do. These are my legs. This is my heart. This is who I am, and I am beautiful. And I mirror read a lot. I mirror read at office, at home. I always have a mirror. I love mirrors because I can speak to myself through those mirrors. So try mirror reading. It's a thing that works. Stand in the mirror and tell yourself how gorgeous you are. Tell yourself how that hair is so beautiful. And if you didn't have it, the world would stop. You know, tell yourself all the good things you want to hear until you begin to believe them. You know that thing of fake it until you make it? Speak positively about yourself until you make it, until you believe that this is who you are. Tell yourself, look at how beautiful my teeth are. See my beautiful eyes. I look like a goddess. Look at my lips. Look at look at every part of your body. Some of us are even afraid to look at ourselves in the mirror because we are afraid of what we will see. Part of overcoming body shaming is understanding that there's nothing the world can say about me that I do not know and that I do not accept. I am beautiful. If they say I'm not beautiful, that's their problem, not mine. That's how they see me. I see myself as beautiful, and I am beautiful. If they think that I am fat or I am skinny, That's their problem. I'm happy with how I look. I'm happy with my size. I can still wake up and wear clothes. I still look good in clothes. I keep telling myself I make clothes look good, not the other way around. Clothes don't make me look good. I make them look good. The lipstick is not what makes me look good. I make the lipstick look good, because if I didn't wear it, where would it look good? If I didn't paint my nails black, who would know that black nail polish is great? And so my nails are making the black nail polish look good. These things are aids. They are aids. They are not the ultimate. And so everything I have in life, I make it look good. I make it look cute. I make it functional, because that is who I am. I am this great goddess, and therefore everything else is an addition to make my goddess life simpler, not to make me fulfilled in my goddess life. And so I encourage as many people out there to see yourself, love yourself, care for this body. It's the only one you have. It's the only one you have. So affirm yourself, care for the body, love it so much so that you are not afraid to flaunt it. You're not afraid to flaunt it. I'm hosting a pool party on Saturday, and one of the things I've been telling people is that I don't have a flat stomach, but I'm going to be in a bikini, because heck, when will I ever get a flat stomach to wear the bikini? It's my body. The stomach is there. I can't cut it off. And so I'm going to wear my bikini and I'm going to go for the pool party. Whoever is uncomfortable with my big flabby stomach or the rings in my back, sorry, I can't help you. I am loving my body and enjoying it the way it is right now. One of the other things that we can overcome, one of the other ways that we can overcome body shaming is calling out the bullies. Sometimes people don't even know they are being bullies until they are called out. And so when you hear someone say something that you don't agree with, call it out, call them out and say, no, Annette, you should not be calling me fat. You should not be calling so and so fat. You should not be saying things like that. You need to refine your language. You need to figure out a way to affirm people rather than take away from them. What business is it if they are fat or small or attractive or unattractive? What business of it is of yours is it to the, what value is it adding to you? And so try and live a positive life. Also speak up. Speak up. Call these people out. You know them. People make sexist jokes online. People make fat shaming and skinny shaming comments online. Call them out. Call them out so that they know next time I will think twice before I make a comment like this. The other way to do this is start a campaign, write body positive stories, write blogs, host a podcast, talk about body shaming, talk about your experiences, because the more we share our experiences, the more people identify with these experiences and the more they are willing to confront their own selves and their own experiences and come out stronger women. So today, purpose to write something, share a story about your body, write about your arms, write about your legs, write about your hair, write about something you love about your body and why you love it and why you cherish it. And the more we share those stories, the more we blog and journal about these things, the more we overcome our inadequate feelings over our bodies. The other way to do this is finding a circle of people that speak positively, that are body positive. Find a circle of people that are body positive or body non-partisan, so that those are the circles of people you surround yourself with. They don't care what you look like, what you smell like, what they just love you because you're a full human body, a full human being carried in a vehicle called a body. And so the body is not what's important. It's the human being. And so find a circle of girlfriends, find a circle of humans that are always in your corner, constantly saying, you're beautiful, girl, you got this, you are awesome, you have an amazing brain, you're pretty, you're like all these amazing things, and let those people be your friends. Don't surround yourself with people who are constantly tugging at you and pulling you down and making you feel small and making you feel inadequate and pressuring you to be on diets and be in gyms and or you know, eating certain things so that you can put on weight or look a certain way, wearing certain clothes. Those are not a good influence. When you wake up in the morning, wear what makes you feel bomb that day. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks or feels, it's you. Do you feel bomb? Do you feel great? Go out there and flaunt it, because that is who you are. And so part of confronting body shaming is also taking the risk to be different and taking the risk to be yeah, taking the risk to be different, to not identify with what society has boxed us into being and feeling, but stepping out there with courage, with boldness, with fear also, because sometimes we've got to do certain things afraid, to say that yes, I have big boobs, I'm scared of putting them out there, but I'm going to wear this blouse because I love it and I don't care what anybody will say. That's risky, but it's also a way of overcoming this fear of body shaming. Yeah, and there are many other ways, but I
Wow.
feel like I've overtalked.
Yeah, I've loved this conversation and I hope it could last forever because to me, I have people that are close to me and ever constantly thinking that their bodies are not enough. They are always in panic. And I think that it's also important to keep encouraging our friends and also showing them that it's okay to be, and we are all different. I want you to conclude, Sanyu, by speaking briefly about the esteem, because I know that it is important for young girls out there to understand, because it in most ways affect the self-esteem that we have. Please, in a few minutes, speak about that.
So we've said so much about esteem, and I will not go into, you know, how body shaming affects our esteem. I just want to say that one of the ways that we can build our self-esteem is meditation. Sit with yourself in a quiet place and think about all the nice things that you are, because you're amazing, you're gorgeous, you're beautiful, you were created for such a time as this, and there's no one who can be you. There's nothing as beautiful as knowing that no matter how identical we are, no matter how much we strive, no one can be Penny. And so, because there's only one Penny, I am magnificent in the way that I am, and I need to meditate on that magnificence enough until I believe it. So, journal, sit down and meditate. Journal. Sometimes meditation is in the form of journaling. Write down things you love about your body. It's not easy. If I asked each one of us that is watching today to write down 100 things they love about themselves, you will struggle at 28, because we are not used to affirming ourselves positively. So I'm challenging us to build our self-esteem. We must see ourselves a certain way. So begin to see yourself a certain way today, starting with this very conversation. Sit down with yourself, start with your face, scan your entire body, and write down the things you love about your body. And then write down the things that you don't think you 100% love, and begin to meditate yourself into loving those things, because they are perfect just the way they are. Also, to close is to say that there's no perfect size, there's no perfect body, there's no perfect pretty face, there's no perfect anything. Constantly, as human beings, we are yearning for more, we are yearning for better, we are yearning for different. And so, do not be fooled into the narrative of perfection, because it's a myth, it's a fallacy, it's a lie. Break yourself from the need to be magazine perfect. Break yourself from the need to have a flat stomach. Nobody sent you for a flat stomach. If you have it, thank God. If you do not, thank God, because flat stomachs flat stomach or no flat stomach, you're still Penelope Sanyo. You can still deliver what you need to deliver while you're on this earth. And so what's the point of wasting your purpose trying to fit a certain stereotype of size and shape when you can live your true authentic self and live a full life that is full of amazing things? So I challenge us to go out there and love ourselves and care for these bodies and live healthy lives, not competition lives, but healthy, meaningful lives where we see ourselves for who we are, we appreciate ourselves for who we are, and we love everything absolutely beautiful on our bodies, and we see them as theirs. Thank you. Annette, I'm done.
Thank you so much, Sanyu. It's been such a lovely conversation. And for those that have been following us, please keep sharing this conversation. Share with your daughters, with your sisters, with your colleagues, with your friends, so that they can continue learning, so that we can live peacefully. We cannot continue. Thank you so much. Until next week. Bye bye. God bless you.
Thank you so much for having me.